Welcome back, everyone. Today, guys, we're going to go through all of the animals, okay? So this Ed puzzles me just a little bit longer. But the reason for this, guys, I want to get through this before MEA break and make sure we all take our tests before MEA break. So let's just do it, okay? So first and foremost, if you are a B student, you are going to be taking your test on Friday of this week, okay? If you are a B student, you are taking your test on Friday of this week, okay? Got it? Now, if you are a distant learner, you are also going to be taking your test Friday of this week. Friday of this week. If you are student A, okay, student A will be taking their test on Monday of the following week, okay? So next week. Got it? We have Fridays, and we also have a Monday. Now, guys, with this being said, just so we're on the same page, when you are studying for this, you need to be able to identify the animal by picture. You need to know different characteristics. You need to probably know where they live, and a couple of things like that. Okay, guys, things I promise I'll not ask are things like how much does something specifically weigh, or how long is something specifically. I'm not going to ask those questions. So I don't think that's fair because that's just vulgar memorization off of our notes. Okay, what I want you to be able to do is to be able to identify and be able to compare and contrast if you need to. Okay, so no weights, no lengths, like to the T per se. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. But let's get going. Okay. So last week, as we finished up on the gray wolf, today we're going to start on the gray fox. The gray fox is probably one of the cutest fox species in the state. Okay. It's between the gray or the red. It's only two we have, but I think the gray is pretty cute and they have some pretty cool adaptions. Okay. First thing you guys should notice, it is called the gray fox because it is gray. It also is technically like quad colored. So it does have white, does have some red, does have gray, and then does have this distinct black line. So the gray fox has about 35 to 40 inches with a 12 to 15 inch bushy tail. So they're relatively large. Okay, they do weigh about 8 to 14 pounds, and they grayish body with a black stripe down its back and tail. Let me move my picture quick. This black stripe all the way from its head, all the way through its back, all the way through its back, all the way through its tail is very distinctive. It is one of the best key features to identify what a gray fox truly is. If you're just seeing it very quickly, you should be able to see that black stripe. Now, their underbelly and feet, guys, are orangish yellow, which we kind of pointed out earlier in the prior photo. They're not found in the northeast region of the state, and they're the only member of the canine family that can actually climb trees, which is pretty sweet. Okay, their claws actually do allow them to climb trees. Pretty cool. Okay. Now, climate change, guys, is pushing these animals further north. They do need a cold climate to thrive and survive. But as we know, guys, the Earth is warming up, so they're actually moving farther and farther north, and eventually won't be found in our south regions anymore. Now, the next one is the red fox. This is probably the one that you guys have probably seen. They are pretty common in our area, and they're pretty common in residential areas. Okay, so the red fox, it is a reddish orange, does have a nice white chest. It looks like your typical fox per se. The red fox guy is about 3 feet long with a 13-inch bushy tail, and they weigh about 8 to 15 pounds. So there's really not that much difference between them and the gray fox. Now, they're rusty red fur with a white tipped tail, has black on their legs. Now, the red fox will bark like dogs and scream if they're alarmed, and they are found statewide. And they can jump farther than a kangaroo. Guys, if you have some time, I highly recommend you just Google or YouTube red fox hunting in the snow. Okay? I'll repeat that. Red fox hunting in the snow. They do some pretty crazy stuff when it comes to this. They actually jump up in the air and then like pretty much sky bomb into the snow to go pick up mice. It does do some pretty sweet things for them. Okay? So I highly, highly recommend that you go and watch that video. Just YouTube it. Okay? It'll pop up right away. The next one is the cougar, or better known as the mountain lion, okay? Pretty much the same thing in our case, guys. Is not any different. Now, one of these guys were actually just hit in Bloomington, Minnesota not that long ago, which is pretty crazy because they're not supposed to be like in the city per se. Typically, they're more of like a country animal because they need their space. Now, Cougars and or mountain lions, guys, they're 7 to 8 feet long from nose to tip of tail, and they weigh about 120 to 160 pounds, but can be found larger. So I think the one that was hit in Bloomington was around like 115 pounds, so it wasn't like a fully mature one yet, but it was still pretty large. Now, their fur is gray-brown or like a reddish-brown, and they have a long black-tipped tail that is about half of their body length. So if they are like so long, their tail's going to be so long as well. They have a long tail, guys, to help with balance and to help with climbing. Now, one of the crazy things about cougars, guys, is after killing large prey, cougars will eat the organs and part of the meat that they want right away, and they'll drag the prey a distance. So they'll leave the area where they originally killed it, and they will drag it away. They will then cover the remains of this with leaves, pine needles, and other debris to hide it from other animals. Guys, they will kill, but they understand that they can't eat everything in one sitting, so they're kind of trying to like save it for later. So they just go kind of hide it. Now, the reason they have pine needles and leaves and other debris to hide it, it kind of deters the smell from other things. Also, they also know where it is. Okay. Now, this is kind of crazy because like there is some instances, guys, where people have been killed by cougars or mountain lions, and they are right. They don't find them typically at like the murder site, but instead they find them farther into the woods, kind of hidden away. Okay. Kind of sad, kind of gruesome, but it's kind of the truth. Okay. Now, some people say that they have seen cougar tracks in the wild, and realistically it just comes out to be a domestic dog. Sometimes it's a wolf. But here's one key characteristic, guys, that you guys can tell what a coyote or what a cougar's paw looks like compared to a domestic dog. And it's the presence or absence of claws or nails, okay, however you want to look at it. So domestic dogs, guys, you can see their nails right here. Coyotes, you can see their nails. Now, cougars, their paw prints don't have any nails. The reason for this, guys, is they have retractable claws. So the retractable claws, guys, think of like a cat. Like when you pet a cat and they just like walk around, their claws aren't out. But if they want to be out, they just clicky pop them out. They're retractable. Now, it doesn't mean they like shove out their skin. They just have like an extra knuckle, guys, that makes them bend backwards. But in the snow or in the mud and things like that, you will see cougar prints, and they will not have any claw prints on them or any claw marks, giving you a pretty good definition or a pretty good idea that it might be a claw or some type of cat species. Okay. Now we have two more that are also going to fall under the cat species category. We have the bobcat, which you guys can probably notice here. It has a couple of ear tufts, has black spots on its legs, black spots on its belly, and has a little short tail. Okay. The bobcat, guys, is 26 to 36 inches long with a 4 to 7 inch tail and weighs about 20 to 30 pounds. Now, they're brown or gray on top with a white belly and typically have black spots on their belly and on their legs. They're found in the northeast section of the state and one of the few animals that will actually eat porcupines. Okay, so they will eat those. Is it their main food source? No, it's not. But will they eat it if it's a present to them? For sure. Okay, now, one that I do want to talk about is the term bob and 4 to 7 inch tail. Guys, I know you guys might not know what this is, but like the term bob haircut helps me remember what a bobcat is. So bob haircut, guys, is when people get their hair cut to like right around here or like around this length, which is right about shoulder length. And shoulder length is about 8 inches typically for most people. So a little bit shorter bob is probably around 7 to 6 inches. So if that helps you remember it, that's cool, okay? So they do have 4 to 7 inch tails. It's the bobcat. Now the final one is the Canada lynx. A couple things we got to notice here. They have super long legs, big paws, huge ear tufts, and they also have a little goatee. Okay. Now, they're about 3 feet long with a 4 inch stub tail. So their tail is actually shorter than the bobcat's tail. They weigh about 20 to 44 pounds, brown to gray on top with a white to gray belly, and they have some dark spots. Now, their back legs seem longer than their front, and they do have large feet. Now, guys, when we talk about the snowshoe hare, we talk about how the snowshoe hare is moving north. Same things happen with the Canada lynx. They're also moving north because the snowshoe hare is their main food source. Okay. Now, they're realistically only found on the north central tip of the state, just because that's where the abundance of snowshoe hares are. Now, I want to go back to this photo. The reason, guys, they have these large paws, which you guys have probably come up with the idea, they have a large surface area. The larger surface area allows them to stay on top of the snow. Yep. Now they have longer legs, so if they break through the snow, they're still able to hit the ground and still be able to keep moving. If they had short, stubby legs like a corgi, but with big paws, if they busted through the snow, they'd be up to their belly already and already have some issues. So long legs, big feet allow them to move in the snow fairly easily and effectively. Now, guys, there's little bit of pieces here if you want to look at this for the difference between Canada lynx and a bobcat. But that's everything. Okay. Now, guys, is this every species of mammal in Minnesota? No. Okay. We didn't get into a lot of the small mammals, and I could have definitely done some of those. Now, is this a pretty good start? Yeah. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do, start studying. Okay. There's a lot of these. I will have a Kahoot post on today's assignment or under today's thing, but just make sure you guys understand, like, this is going to take some time. Okay. It's not going to be super quick. You're not going to memorize everything in one day. So take your time, figure it out, ask questions you guys have it, get prepared for your test on Friday or Monday. Other than that, guys, have a good day.